Hi boys and girls, today we'll be reviewing Rust Legacy. It is the older version of the current Rust alpha build that is out, and I began playing it yesterday and had a really good time. Spent 4 hours straight, I believe, playing it. And so just going to tell you what I thought of it, thoughts, opinions, and just let you know that all this is based on the fact that I'm judging this as if it's a finished game, so please don't think I'm judging it too critically. It's more the fact that it's still in alpha, yet it's easier for me to just say the facts rather than having to say, oh, it's in alpha every 2 seconds. So the bads from the beginning that I found was there wasn't much instruction in the game itself, and due to the chat feature in the game, I was managed to figure out what was happening, what I meant to do, how I open stuff, how I craft stuff, all this. But only because of the chat system was I able to find these instructions. Without that, I would have been hammering on the keyboard for ages, trying to figure out how everything works, googling everything, etc, etc. So I did hope that would have a bit more of a tutorial to it, or not even a tutorial, because that would confine you too much, just more of a little tip pointer which you can turn off. One thing that really bugged me though was the collision, because you would find yourself going through other players and animals, like you would literally walk through them and you can see from inside their character model and stuff, and that, although it doesn't seem too big a detail and it is effective in stopping players from griefing each other, it does present a big problem when it comes to trying to hit people with this rock. If you've seen the animation for the rock, it comes down but it takes about a second for it to get into the swing, and so you're trying to get that swing correct, and then you also have to tell whether you've even hit this guy or not since you walk through him. So it's a bit dodgy in that sense, the fact that there's no collision. But at the same time, I think they've gone for trying to keep the griefing to a minimum, and people will the best of two worsts. It's bad English, but that's the idea. Multiplayer survival mentality was also a big thing that kind of ruined my individual fun. Like when I played for myself for the first hour or so, I found that it was really bad because I couldn't, as soon as I talked to someone, they had like a bit of inclination to tell you where things are and stuff, but after a while they didn't want you following them. And that's in all games like DayZ, Arma 3, Wasteland, all those kind of multiplayer open world games where you collect stuff and you want to be the very best, gotta catch them all. You find that people don't trust each other enough, and that's a big thing that kind of ruins the mentality of this game. But when you do find someone who's fun to play with, you like Pablo or someone, you find someone with a good name and they talk to you and you feel you can trust them. You can really start your own story, and that's why these games are so good, because they allow you to create your own story. But one thing I found was getting killed by the same guy over and over because he had a gun and I didn't, and I occasionally tried to hit him with a rock or two. Well, it wasn't that fun. It kind of took away from what the game was. On to the next thing. I found something which interested me as a beginning player straight off the mark. I found a satchel charge, which for those of you who don't know is just an explosive which once placed blows up after a set amount of seconds. And I was extremely disappointed, to be honest, when I placed the satchel charge on a locked door, and I honestly thought that was the purpose of such a thing, to blow up the door and open the door. But it blew up and didn't do anything, and that's a tiny thing, but for me that was so disappointing. I really had wished that you were able to blow stuff up. That would have been fun, but of course that is a really big thing for the programmers to do, so although it's a bad, I can see it becoming a not bad in the future. One thing that really scared me off the game though was the fact that the gun, I think it was a pistol I was being shot with, a revolver, seemed to have no recoil or drop. As to the range, I'm still unsure whether there was a max range, but because it had no drop, it just seemed like if you didn't have a pistol you had no chance at a fight. And what's fun and really stupid in games like DayZ is that you can have a baseball bat and kill someone with an AK. Because although it seems stupid, it's also semi-realistic. Whereas if a pistol just shoots in a straight line, it really takes away from the realism, I guess. It seems like it's this crazy super weapon, and when you're using a bow against it, which I'll show you, is the bow, although it's accurate as well, it has no aim reticule, and so it's a lot harder to hit such, and so it's not fair competition unless it's pistol versus pistol. I think that really takes away from the combat. It's a lot more fun when you've got idiots running around you with rocks, and you have to actually shoot. You still have to show skill to kill them. But on to the goods now. The goods, there are a lot of goods. The controls, although I did have to figure them out for myself and ask people on chat and stuff, once I got the hang of it, a lot of them came really easily and made sense. Like tab to open the menu is similar to DayZ, shift to run obviously, WASD movement. All those basic controls that people know, they're nice and they're good and they're always going to be like that, and that's what made it easy. And the use of enter for chat, people are always going to press enter. So as soon as you press enter and you see a chat bar come up, you're like, oh, I can chat. It's really fast, really easy to pick up on, anyone can do it. The replayability was stupidly high. Like, even when I was just playing by myself and I got killed after making like my campfire Satan star thing, pentagram, that's the word. I made a pentagram out of fireplaces, that was fun. But even after getting killed and knowing that I've lost all the effort I put in, it still felt fun because it didn't feel like I lost that much, and I think I might not have got deep enough into the game. I think if you lost maybe the high-end gear, it might be a bit different, but for me it was really still fun respawning. I'm like, oh, I'm in a new place, I wonder what's around here, maybe there's a better place to build a base. It was just fun. And I find that with a lot of games that you have to replay again and again, you don't get that sense of... You feel like you lose. And so when you die, you just want to stop playing. But with this, when you die, you're like, oh, what's next? Where am I going to go? And that made it really fun. That may wear off after playing on the same map again and again, but I'm not sure how the map system is working. I didn't spend overly long playing this, which I should have. And I will continue to do from now on. Another good thing was the bow. Like, I said the bow was bad before, but it's only bad versus a pistol. In reality, the bow is amazing. Like, it's a bow which takes a seemingly long time, but which I believe to be realistic amount of time to reload between shots. It doesn't have a reticule, and that's what I really like, because you have to aim based on sight, and people love bows because they're like, oh, it's got an aiming reticule and I can be like an archer. But the reality is, if you're using a bow, you're not going to have an aim reticule disappear in front of you. And it adds to that level of skill that's required, but at the same time, the pistol takes away from that because the pistol just shoots in a straight line and can kill you in a matter of seconds. But the bow is really fun and really good, and it looks nice, really great. The hunting is, to go along with the bow, the hunting is one of the funnest things ever. I killed I think it was a wolf, and I felt so accomplished because I did it with the bow, because the bow does take that bit more skill. And because it takes that bit more skill, you feel like I'm a skillful person, and all you did was kill something with like 2 shots. And it's not really that amazing because it was probably about 10 meters. But it makes you feel good, and feeling good is a good thing. So the bow is amazing, and hunting itself, because you can, I found out you can crouch by holding control, you really feel like you're sneaking up. And I don't know if that has any effect on the animal's ability to see you. But it was really fun because of it. Because I felt like I was sneaking out with my bow at the ready to hunt this deer. Like, it could be a hunting simulator. That's a lot of shitty hunting simulators to that standard. And that was a really nice thing. So, this is how I do my score. I do my score out of 100, and it's broken into 5 different pieces. So that way you get an idea of where this 100 comes from. Instead of just saying, oh yeah, it got a 70 out of 100. Then you instantly judge, whereas if you know why the score comes and what pieces make the score, I think you'll understand it a bit better, is my idea. So the first topic to be judged on is looks and sounds. For this game, I gave it a 30. Also take into account that this game is in alpha, and I'm judging this on an overall every single game scale, so it should scale up a little bit. I'm giving looks and sounds a 13 out of 20 because I really enjoyed like the stuff like the bow, the sound it made, the gunshots, when you hit a rock on a tree, all those different textures, what am I talking about? All those different sound files are really great, and they added something to the game, along with the multi-directional sound, which basically every game has now, but we take for granted a lot. really adds for those who have 3D surround sound headphones. You understand how much more it brings to a game, rather than just hearing this sound and being like, where the hell did that come from? Like, if I'm playing and I hear a shot, I can tell where the shot's coming from, and that really adds another level as well. I think that will add to the max geared level of gameplay as well. One thing that did kind of disappoint me a little bit was the textures. I saw the same textures and objects, for that matter. A lot of it is repeated throughout the world, and they have done really well to mix up the size and location of everything, but you do still see that it is the same stuff repeated again and again. In regards to gameplay, I'm giving it a 14 out of 20. Combat is exceptionally fun, but at the same time it's a major flaw. It's a major flaw due to a combination of the gun's lack of recoil that I saw. I saw a lack of recoil, but I've only experimented with a few guns, so I can't make a dead claim, but in my current opinion, that really took away from the game for me. Another thing is the collision. The collision really took away from combat with bears and wolves and stuff, because even when you're chasing a pig, you had to be inside it and then attack it, and it was a bit weird that you had to abuse the lack of collision to hit something. That kind of took away from the combat gameplay for me, so I was a bit disappointed. Replayability, I'm giving it a 16 out of 20. It's really fun to play again, and you have no idea why. And I think I played DayZ, the current build, for 200 hours so far, so I'm thinking I could easily play this game for longer than that, because the bugs are big, but they're not game ruining. They don't change anything amazing. So I'm quite happy with replayability. The game's just fun to create a new story every time. You really feel like you're moving on. And on that note, I'm giving it a 12 out of 20 for story. This isn't so much the game's fault. I believe the story I've given the story a lower score, more to the fact that people's nature isn't to be nice and have an adventure with people online. Like, I found very rarely will I get people who are fun. You have to kind of pre-organize it with a bunch of mates what you're doing, and that by pre-organizing it with your mates, it takes away from meeting new people and having just weird experiences. You may have fun with your mates, but if you got like 10 random people compared to 10 of your friends, the 10 random people would be so weird to play with that I think it'd be fun. And because people can't adapt and play like that, I feel like the story in these kind of create your own story games has gone down, so I'm only giving it a 12 out of 20. And in regards to innovation, it gets an 8 out of 20, because I don't feel like they've done anything exceptionally new. I think they're bringing back their old formula of make your own stuff, survive, get the best gear, and then shoot each other. It really reminds me of a combination of DayZ and Minecraft. There are probably a few other game mechanics in there that have been looked at, but that's my first initial thing. I think, what's this game remind me of? To me personally, it reminds me of a combination of DayZ and Minecraft. But it's really fun, and to me, neither DayZ or Minecraft caught me. Like, I never really got addicted. I did spend 200 hours playing DayZ, but I didn't feel the happiness. Whereas in this game, I really feel happy. So they innovated happiness, and that's why they've got an 8 out of 20. So I hope that clears things up. I'll do the math quickly. 20... quickly. I'm not very good at math, so I'm going to cheat. So 63 out of 100 was the score. Although that does seem low, be sure to take into effect that it's an alpha build, and for it to be getting a 63 out of 100 in an alpha build is very good, since there are a lot of games that barely make that in a finished game. So hope to see more from the what are they called? The developers from Rust. I hope their full build version gets better and can reach the potential that they've already gotten to. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you have any questions, comments, you don't agree with something I said, my opinion you don't think is correct, just say it and I'll reply with my best response. I'll tell you how I feel, how you feel. Everyone tell us how you all feel. It's all about sharing in the world of video games. So I hope you guys have a good day. See you next time.
Thanks for watching there, YouTubers. If you liked what you saw, smash that like button, and as always, stay awesome.